If you are a real estate agent looking to improve your business, grow your sales, get part of a great team that is growing right now, March was the best month that I've had in a couple of years, massively increased my advertising lead generation expenses this year. We're looking to hire some talented people that want to work, that want to make money, that want to learn from the best how to sell real estate. If that is you, go to jointheduo.com, register for our career night. You can apply for one of our open positions. You can set an appointment with our team and so much more at jointheduo.com. We are excited to be growing. I think it's an important time for people to really kind of evaluate where they are. If they're not succeeding, if they're not hitting the numbers, sometimes it's the real estate agent not succeeding is because of choices they're making. Sometimes it's the environment they're in. So we can help with both of those things. And again, we are looking to grow and hire agents. So if that is you, go to jointheduo.com. Again, that is jointheduo.com. Just kind of an interesting sidebar conversation is the amount of impact AI is going to have in real estate and in all of our industries. I think society as an evolution moves towards efficiency. Pretty much everything moves towards efficiency. That's just part of evolution. Part of society and growth is, companies look to get more efficient. Economies, nations, states. And so when I look at, the things happening in the economy right now, and I hear the fears over, tariffs and this and that, and I don't want to lose my job, and it's moving towards efficiency. So if you're a real estate agent and you're not adapting and you're not using this new technology and you're not looking to involve AI into helping you serve your customers, the market's going to pass you. If you're someone in an industry that robots have a chance of replacing you, get some new skills. If you're somebody that doesn't work very hard, I saw this week, just driving by a construction site, I won't blast the company name on here because they're probably an advertiser, but I saw trucks that were burying communication lines, and they're doing it a lot around my neighborhood right now. It's really kind of funny because I always laugh when I see it because there's like 4 trucks there. There's one guy working and there's like 14 guys standing around talking. That type of work ethic is unfortunately not going to keep you employed if robots come in and AI comes in. And so the real estate business, same thing. If you don't evolve and adapt with it as a real estate agent to serve the customers at the highest level, you're going to get replaced. When I hear these rumblings from people about, protectionism and do this and do that, the reality is work works. And the real estate agents that are successful today, it's because they're working and they're doing a good job for their clients. So, and we're looking for more of those. If that is you, if you have a great work ethic, but maybe you need a new environment, if you need the leads that we provide, if you need coaching, if you need consulting, we would love the opportunity to help you. And you can do that again at jointheduo.com. Again, that is jointheduo.com. So I was at a speaking engagement this week. Last week, I did the Hometown Titan Retreat. I think I mentioned that once before on the show. But this past week, I was on a panel for Real Producers. Real Producers is a local real estate publication that kind of ranks real estate agents. I've been on the cover. I've been featured in it a bunch of times, and I've gone on several of their panels. And so I got asked to be on this panel, and we were going around the room. We were talking about what we were seeing happening in the real estate market. And it was pretty much a consensus that the real estate market is definitely better now than it was a year ago. And I think, again, assuming no storms hitting, it's going to be even better when we get to the summer and fall months as more and more of the kind of the storm damaged homes get repaired and relisted, the insurance claims get squared away, the people get moved. Again, assuming no major hurricane impacts. So the market is heading in a positive direction just based on all that information. But one thing that's a caution, that's a challenge for people, and again, why a lot of people are afraid, you've got, obviously hurricane season scares people because the pain of last year's hurricane season is still kind of fresh in people's mind. We're very hopeful in Tampa Bay real estate to get through this hurricane season unscathed, because I think that will really propel our real estate market in the summer months and fall into the winter. The other thing that I think is a wild card, obviously there's a lot of discussion about the abolishment of property taxes. If that ends up happening, I think that's going to be a huge boom for our market. There's a lot of speculation that will happen. I think there are a lot of smart people getting into real estate investments now with the expectation there's a good chance of major property tax reform, which would cause prices to rise and it would get payments back in line with what they were when interest rates are really low. And then, of course, there's pressure and a lot of things going on around the tariffs and how that impacts the economy. I talked about this before on the show, and I want to talk about it again because I think it's crucial for people right now. There's a lot of volatility right now with the tariffs, okay? Every discussion, the market's up, it's down. And we're not just talking like slight, we're talking like big swings up, big swings down. And what happens when that occurs is interest rates also have a big swing up and a big swing down. It doesn't appear that there's going to be be any sort of wrapped all in, quick, easy, packaged up in a nice little big, beautiful, as President Trump calls it, a big, beautiful bill. I don't think there's going to be a big, beautiful bill for tariffs. It looks like there's going to be individual countries kind of negotiated one at a time. And so without that big, beautiful tariff deal and it stretching out, it's going to continue to be volatile and go up and go down. And what that causes is the bond markets and the treasuries to also go up and go down. So interest rates right now are going to be a bit of a roller coaster. There's going to be periods of time where they're up and there's going to be periods of time when they're down. And it's why picking a really good real estate agent and a really good mortgage lender are important right now, because there's a lot of money you may leave on the table with that quarter or half point change in interest rates if you lock at the wrong time, or you don't get a lender that give you a relock. If you're looking at buying anytime soon, you're going to have to play the game a little bit. You're going to have to pay attention. You're going to have to listen to your LO, and you're going to have to hope that your LO is somebody that has your best interest in mind. You know, when I say your LO, I mean your loan officer. I talk in real estate lingo sometimes, but your loan officer is going to have to be somebody that has your best interest in mind. So that ebb and flow of rates, if you lock at the wrong time, it's going to cost you a lot of money over a long period of time with that loan. What do I recommend? Well, first off, we partner with Rich Mize and Marshall Smith's group with Fairway Mortgage. Can't speak highly enough about them. They do an incredible job for us and have for a really long time. And they are a local mortgage, business that has your best interest in mind, that cares about getting your business again, that cares about helping you and your family and getting referrals. The national mortgage lender, you're a number to them. When you go online and you quote rates and you go and you find the guy with the lowest quoted rate, it's so much of a scam because there's all kinds of fine print about what you have to do to get that rate. And people get bait and switched into this stuff all the time. And then you get this guy that you're talking to from New York. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about your family. You're just a number. They're a mill. They just simply want to process your transaction, make as much as they can, and move on to the next deal. So if you are going to get a mortgage in this very volatile time, I strongly discourage you from working with someone that you don't have a personal recommendation of and that isn't local. That doesn't, the local person's going to care about you and your repeat and your business, and somebody's recommended by your real estate agent because they have a relationship with them. They're going to be local. They're going to be able to play that game to get you the right rate and play the ebb and flow of tariffs, treasuries, the stock market, the ups and downs of that cause rates to go up and down to try and lock your interest rate at the best possible time. Experienced loan officers know exactly how to do that. The industries that have the great big companies that quote the super low rates, bait and switch you with higher fees, there's just so much of that goes on and consumers get duped into it. We see it all the time. We get a pre-qual, a buyer that's using this lender that they don't know, that they've never heard of, and then the transaction's a nightmare. The person doesn't end up honoring what they say. They don't lock rates at the right time. And while that initial quoted rate sounded great, it sounded like sunshine and rainbows, that's not what the consumer ended up getting. The consumer picked the person based on a promise and a failed promise in a lot of scenarios. So you have to compare apples to apples. I see a lot of times people go, oh, I went with that company because I had the higher rate. Oh, they're paying 2 points for it. They're paying 10 grand closing costs for that lower rate. The other company that quoted you a straight rate without any points could have beat that rate with 2 points. So a lot of consumers get tricked in the math. They don't pay attention. They don't do the math. They don't ask the right questions. That's where a great real estate agent can come in. That's where a great mortgage lender can come in. And it's important for you to shop that around and compare apples to apples.